Kris, just the thought on the LA Kings. You played them once earlier, a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, I guess now. Keys against the Kings tonight, in your opinion?
Being patient with our game. They don't give up many chances. In fact, they're one of the better teams in the league defending. So just waiting for the opposition to make mistakes, force things, and once we force things, we'll be feeding their transition, allowing them opportunities. We have to know that our chances are going to be limited tonight, and we have to work for them.
Sorry, one more for me. Just looking back at the last game, you got some big goals, obviously, from some secondary scoring. Can you kind of just talk about what you thought of I guess the importance of getting that secondary scoring and what you thought of the play of Henrique and Podkolzin recently in particular?
Well, our team is driven, especially offensively, on Draisaitl and McDavid. When they're playing well, they are leading the way almost every single night. But we do need secondary scoring. We need other guys stepping up. And the other night we saw it, Corey Perry scoring a key goal at the end of the game, or in the second period. Podkolzin scoring. We need more of those games. And I think, lately I think we've been playing outstanding. And those two players that you mentioned, especially Podkolzin, he's been pretty much a staple playing with Leon for most of the year. That game, we kind of made some little line changes with Perry and Podkolzin swapping spots, and they both came up with obviously very important goals at the end of the second period.
Just on the line changes, so a couple of games ago, you're down early, and you flip Connor and Leon together, and you ride that. Last game, you're down early, but you kind of stay the course, you tweak a little bit. What's the difference in a game where you decide to flip that switch versus not?
A lot of it has to do with what our schedule's been like, how much guys have been playing, who's playing well at the time. But probably the biggest one is what the other team has. Are they more vulnerable to a team that loads up their top line, or is it a team that's more worried about having depth? They might have a great shutdown five-man unit that they're comfortable with that. So those are some of the things that we consider.
Hey, Kris. Warren Foegele had kind of a breakout season with you last year. He doubled his points. He's kind of continuing in that this year. What did you see in his game last year that kind of took him to another level?
Just really good on the puck down low. He's very fast. He's quick. And he can shoot the puck. He's got one of the better wrist shots, and he can get it away. But I think most of his goals are just being quick, getting around the net, and like any team or player, most of the goals are around the blue paint. He's quick, he's strong, he can get there.
And you mentioned Corey Perry, and I think some of us in here, just based on how he was deployed in the playoffs last year, thought maybe that he wouldn't be an everyday guy, or he wouldn't play every day, or he'd have a day off here or there. But he's played every game. He's scoring goals. He looks like vintage Corey Perry. What have you liked about his game this year? And is this the way you were expected to deploy him, or did you think that you would have to give him a day off here and there?
No, I think he can handle it. It's not that he's playing 18, 20 minutes a night. Usually it's anywhere from 10 to 14 minutes. That'd be his window of ice time. And it's definitely something that he can handle. And we've used him, primarily kind of a third, fourth line. But there have been games where we've been chasing and we need a goal, and he's been bumped up and played with, usually Leon is the guy that he gets bumped up to. But his game's been really solid. He's played more left wing than he has in his career, and I think he's been making some really nice plays there.
Just to circle back to the last meeting, they didn't have more in the lineup, and I realized their lines might be a little bit different. But Byfield, Foegele, and Jeannot really dominated that game, especially Byfield. I mean, they had a heaviness. They won a lot of puck battles. Does it change at all? I mean, you've got the call here at home as how you can match up. I don't know whether or not they're going to start with them, but just I thought you have to think about the kind of success that trio had against you in the last game.
Oh, absolutely. Well, obviously they had the last change and they had the lineups, and they were very persistent on the matchups that they liked. And we're not a team that's usually ran away from lineup matches just because of the amount of ice time that McDavid and Leon play. That it just doesn't make any sense for us to worry about 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2 or having our shutdown against their lines. So tonight it'll be, they've got 3 really good lines, and they've depth on their 4th line. They've got some good players there too, but they rely on those 3 lines pretty equally, and we'll have to, play well against them. But we won't have a 1 line play against any one of theirs.
Anything on the lineup, Kris?
What do you want to know?
12 and 6. 12 and 6 tonight, normal configuration.
We're going to go with 11-7.